I'm a credentialing specialist from NCTRC, and we welcome you to this morning's presentation, NCTRC Overview. We're really excited and honored to be presenting at the SUNY Cortland conference this year, virtual conference, and to give you this opportunity to really have a bit of a better understanding and a broad overview of NCTRC, who we are, what we do, and how we might be able to assist you with the certification process in any capacity. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so first and foremost, we'd like to just let you know that NCTRC certification standards change from time to time. We're going to talk a little bit about what happens with that process, but the presentation this morning will really refer to the certification standards as of today's date, November 6, 2020. We do like to indicate this just in case there is a presentation that you may view later down the road. And if things change, we do like to let you know that this is what we are referring to and aligning to in today's date. It is the responsibility of an applicant or a certificant for that matter to review the nctrc.org website for the most current requirements prior to application submission. And again, this includes both the new application process and the recertification process as well. Okay, the learning objectives this morning. We will talk about the professional eligibility process. This is gaining eligibility to complete the NCTRC exam for the very first time. We will also speak about the certification standards related to the recertification process once you hold CTRS certification, and the areas of specialization that aligns with the recertification process. We will also be able to better understand the NCTRC job analysis study and how this relates to the certification standards and the NCTRC exam. We will ask that you jot your questions down, and Hannah will assist in providing the questions later on when we have a few minutes at the end of the presentation. And I always like to say, please do not be shy. If you have a question that you feel that you don't want to share publicly, you want to give us a call, we are always available at the NCTRC office to assist. So no question is one not to be articulated, so please be sure to let us know if you have anything at all, or if you just want to call us and say hello. So who are we? Why do we exist? NCTRC, the core purpose is to protect the safety of consumers of recreational services. And how do we do this? We do this by promoting the provision of quality services by NCTRC certificants. You know, it comes back to, why is certification important? Certification demonstrates your commitment to superior professionalism, upholding the industry standards for recreational therapy. So really, by becoming certified, you know, we can really make this clear statement that we are attempting in our education and our continued competency to provide the best services to our consumers. Who is NCTRC? Well, we were established in 1981. It was a time where professionals in recreational therapy practice decided to devote their thoughts and determination and professionalism and vision and create more of a certification practice that was very specific to recreational therapy practice. So this was, again, 1981, back in the early days of NCTRC's existence. In 1993, we did become accredited by the National Commission for Certifying Agencies, NCCA, which we still hold an accreditation to this day. At this time, there are more than 18,000 individuals who hold a CTRS certification within the NCTRC registry. And we are recognized as the cornerstone or foundation of the therapeutic recreation profession in North America. So it's kind of interesting to look at this slide because I think that, sometimes it is kind of difficult to understand who NCTRC is, what our role is in compared to other organizations. So NCTRC is the certification. Again, it is not a license. Oftentimes we hear individuals referring to NCTRC certification as a license. A license comes out of a state, the state of New York, which, I'm thinking that many of you reside, does not have a license requirement currently for recreational therapy. So the certification, the national level certification, may be required by an employer, may be desired by an employer. So again, it does give you that backing of that professionalism. Again, we spoke about that cornerstone or foundation, providing that stamp of competence that you have completed educational requirements, you've completed an exam, and have gained the certification. The purpose for the certification, again, is to protect the public from harm. Then we have the accreditation. So there are the accreditation councils who take a look at curriculums. Their role is specifically to review curriculums to make sure that they are aligned, with a certain intention, of course, to provide that education that you need in order to become certified, in order to, again, have that educational backing. So that would be the CART accreditation or COAPART. We have two different accreditation organizations right now currently, but their role, again, is specifically to provide an overview of the academic programs or curriculums. Then we have our professional organizations. We have the American Therapeutic Recreation Association in Canada. There is the Canadian Therapeutic Recreation Association. They work, very much together, have a communication with one another, again, trying to align themselves for the best process and membership and, conferences and those kinds of things for therapeutic recreation professionals. Also in New York State, there is the New York State Therapeutic Recreation Association. So these are membership organizations that align with the profession. It always is advisable and a great idea to consider joining membership organizations. Again, they do assist with a lot of legislative processes and also, provide conferences and trainings and those kinds of things. So just as something to consider and give you a little bit of a format and a breakdown of what this looks like. So going back to our main core purpose and mission, NCTRC certification provides protection of the public. So how can we claim that we do this? So we have recognized certification standards and is, really, because we have those certification standards in place, that is, no one becomes CTRS certified unless you meet specific requirements and criteria. No one becomes CTRS certified unless you pass the NCTRC certification exam. So these are really very important aspects of this whole certification process. We have an online verification service where you can check the nctrc.org website and click on the verification portal. If you are wanting to verify a potential internship supervisor or a particular staff member, someone who may be considering obtaining employment in recreational therapy, who is claiming they have a CTRS active certification, the verification portal reflects all active CTRS status. I would say it's just a good idea to go to the nctrc.org website and kind of give a review of what the website actually has, all kinds of great information. So good idea just to check the website in regard to the verification portal and everywhere else. There is an effective peer disciplinary process. So again, just kind of referring back to that nctrc.org website, if you visit the publications and forms link, the very first document you will find is the current updated certification standards. Within the certification standards, the very first pages, I think 5 through 7, have the disciplinary process. NCTRC has a very rigorous discipline process. Each and every application that is filed by either a new applicant or someone who currently holds a CTRS is asked the eligibility questions. This gives us a basis to determine whether someone has both the competence to practice, but also just providing some information related to whether they have some matters going on that we should know about, either any perhaps arrests or physical or issues going on that need to be brought forward that NCTRC needs to know about. Again, all of this just to think about protecting the public. So basically, we do hear from our certificants from time to time, and we hear from employers and people who are out in the communities where there are CTRSs providing recreational therapy services, whether there might be kind of an unsavory situation or matter happening. So this, again, really assists NCTRC to review any disciplinary matter that may occur, whether it's a misrepresentation of a credential or, might be some matter that we need to review that a CTRS might be causing harm potentially onto a consumer or a patient. And we spoke earlier about the National Commission for Certifying Agencies. This is our accreditation agency, which we have strict adherence to. We have applications each and every year which need to be updated, basically showing our accreditation body that we are aligning and adhering to our own rules and standards. So how do the certification standards change? What is this all about? Earlier in the presentation, I read a disclaimer talking about how we wanted to make sure that anyone listening to this presentation has a firm understanding that we are talking about certification standards for this date. Well, certification standards change and evolve based on time, what is going on in the field, what is occurring, what's happening with curriculums, how are the exam pass rates happening, what is reflective of the education and curriculum, and what does the job analysis tell us? We'll talk a bit about all of these matters as we move forward in the slides. But ultimately, our certification standards are reviewed and monitored by the NCTRC Board of Directors on a regular and consistent basis. The Board of Directors are the decision makers related to the certification standards, and if any certification standards will be changing, again, they will look at certain data that comes in related to applications, related to academic transcripts, and again, what is going on in the academic field, right? What courses students are taking and what kind of changes that might be occurring and what kind of evolution is occurring. Our job analysis, which our job analysis is essentially a survey that is sent to CTRS certificates every about 5 to 7 years, and we will ask what is it that you are doing in your role as a CTRS? What is the knowledge that you need to have and hold in order to have competent practice and be able to go ahead and perform those certain job tasks. So job analysis has two different sides. Again, we're going to talk about this a little further, our job tasks and our knowledge areas. So this also has cause and effect on our certification standards and whether they may change from time to time. We also have communication to the field. We have educators, we have certificants, we have individuals letting NCTRC know that things are changing or that we might need to have a more modern view and look at a certain piece or part of the certification standards. And it might be time to, again, have a more kind of open mind and modern view of what might be maybe a standard that has been in place for quite a long time. If certification standards change and it is involving curricula or academic programs, we will announce a change, and it will take 4 years in order for that change to take effect. And if a certification standard goes into place that perhaps makes the process for certification more easeful, it will go into effect immediately. So those are good things to know. Just to give you a little bit of an overview, this is our current NCTRC Board of Directors. We have our Board of Directors. If those of you who hold CTRS certification are sitting in the audience this morning, you know that we have elections every November. Right now, we just sent out our ballots for the Board of Directors for the, not this current year, but for the forthcoming 3 years. The board terms are 3 years. So we encourage you certainly to open up those ballots, take a good look at those individuals who have been nominated for board roles and vote. Certainly get out there and vote. If at any time you think that you may want to be involved in the NCTRC Board of Directors, we encourage you to go ahead and put your name in the hat for future potential board roles. It's always great to have individuals from all different areas of the country. We have board members from the U.S. and Canada. And again, those roles are in effect for 3 years. So, you know, if you want to step up, it's always an invitation for you to consider doing so. So what do we do at NCTRC? What is our role? We have various services that we provide for our applicants and certificants. We have a pre-application process, which we really encourage particularly new applicants to consider if they have attended maybe college programs prior to attending their university programs. Maybe they have completed courses that they're not quite sure whether or not the courses will count or qualify for the certification or the professional eligibility process. So this is a great process whereby you can rest a little better at night knowing that some of your courses that you might have completed prior to your program will count and qualify. For all applications, we would encourage you to visit the NCTRC website, click on the My NCTRC login link. This is both for those individuals who are creating a new profile and individuals who are already certified and are able to access their records and their profile dashboard page that way. So again, this is all linked with the nctrc.org website. We have pre-approval processes, which for those individuals who hold certification already, maybe you are thinking about your 5-year recertification process. You've attended some trainings in education whereby you are just wanting to, have NCTRC check and give you that check of assurance that your education, your CEUs, your continuing education hours will qualify. You can again visit your nctrc.org, my NCTRC login, your profile page, and the CEU pre-application process. So all of these are processes where we can kind of assist in making sure that you're on the right track. NCTRC does provide entry-level professional eligibility, which we're going to be speaking a little bit more about, the new application processes. This everyone who completes the NCTRC exam must become professional eligibility or exam qualified prior to sitting for the NCTRC exam. Meet all the current NCTRC certification standards. Only then may you be seated for the NCTRC certification exam. We have our renewal, which is the annual maintenance process, where I'm sure anyone sitting in the audience today, again, holding CTRS, is familiar with the CTRS renewal process and the 5-year recertification process. If for some reason the certification, or you maybe you're not practicing in the field right now, and you've been doing something entirely different, you miss your recertification process and dates, we have a re-entry process whereby instead of starting from scratch all over again and applying for the professional eligibility, you may sit for the NCTRC exam within a 2-year window to regain your CTRS certification status. So the re-entry process is really a great process to kind of keep yourself in the loop. Again, we talked about the disciplinary matters and process. Employer verification, if NCTRC certificates need assistance with verification for employers, we encourage you to have your employers contact NCTRC. We're happy to provide that. Right now, for NCTRC certificates, we do not, at this time, especially because we are not in our physical office, send the CTRS certificates out to you. But if you hop on to your profile page, again, that login, there is a CTRS certificate that is immediately updated for you upon completing that annual maintenance or renewal process. For the new CTRSs who have just completed and successfully passed the exam, once you become certified again, that CTRS certificate is there for you immediately once you become certified. So most employers ask for the CTRS certificate. So this is, I guess, again, an important part of that employer verification process. And again, advocacy, you know, we want to assist you with advocating for the CTRS. And we have marketing materials on the NCTRC website. I attended a terrific session yesterday on advocacy. Some of you may have been there as well. And it is really important to be able to articulate, have your own elevator speech, of course, we always talk about, but NCTRC is behind you with those advocacy intentions. Again, visiting the NCTRC website, under the publications and forums link, we have a plethora of marketing materials available for you to pass on to your employers. And this really does kind of help you to provide that rationale for certification and why you are certified, and holding that professionalism. So we again talk about the professional eligibility, and what does this exactly mean? So everyone starts here in the goal to become certified eventually, right? So in order to gain professional eligibility, or what we call that exam qualified status, you must become professionally eligible, meeting all of the current NCTRC certification standards, and register and pass that NCTRC certification exam. Professional eligibility is granted for a 5-year period. So this is a good thing to know, that once you complete your degree, if we have any individuals who are currently in their curriculums right now or their programs, once you complete your education, you may think to yourself, well, I'm not quite ready to sit for the exam. I need to prepare a little bit more. It's always a good idea to gain the professional eligibility, after you have completed your education. This way, you know that you are aligning with those current standards. You're not going to be up against any certification standard changes potentially. So know that once you gain that professional eligibility, you have 5 years to take the test. So this is really kind of a good thing to know. There are 2 current paths to gain professional eligibility. We'll speak about those now. The academic path, which is kind of more of a probably a popular route to go for individuals who are earning a degree in therapeutic recreation or a major in recreation with that option in therapeutic recreation. So those of you who attend SUNY Cortland, you know just where you are with this academic path. You are kind of on this road to certification with this route currently. Probably most likely, again, this is probably more applicants that we do see on this academic path and trajectory towards certification. Currently, the certification standards, you need 18 credits in the therapeutic recreation coursework area. We are seeing a certification standard change come up the pike, and effective January 2022, 6 therapeutic recreation courses will be required at that time. For the most part, I must say, the academic programs are already aligning with that certification standard. And again, we talked a little bit about the board of directors looking at all of those pieces and components and data, and they see that, for the most part, the academic programs are already requesting that there are 6 courses in therapeutic recreation. Right now, current standards allow for 5 therapeutic recreation courses, 1 general recreation course, but again, that will change. That announcement has been in effect for the past, I guess almost 3 years, because that change will take place a year from January, this coming January. Supportive courses, abnormal psychology, lifespan development, anatomy and physiology, your humanities and social sciences. We talked a little bit about that pre-application process. If there are any questions about courses that may have been completed prior to attending the program, you can certainly submit that pre-application so we can assure you that your courses are in alignment with standards. Current internship requires 14 consecutive weeks and 560 hours. It's really quite interesting because of this timing with the health crisis going on right now. NCTRC Board of Directors has had a good hard look at the internship certification standards. If you visit the NCTRC website, you may want to click on the featured news link that we have, and there have been some modifications and some suggestions related to the certain standards right now, and some areas where you might be able to have some assistance if the internship perhaps had some interruptions, and maybe the agency had to close for a while due to COVID. So we have been certainly well aware of this situation and have made some modifications. So just as a point of interest and clarification, we would encourage you to visit the NCTRC website and have a look under the featured news section. With the equivalency path, not everybody is on that same track where they're earning the degree program in therapeutic recreation. Perhaps you have a degree in another area of study and you have been working in the field in a paid role. So the equivalency path would be for you. The degree may be in another area of study. The coursework is really all the same. The only difference with the 2 paths, as you see, is one academic path requires an internship that would be completed for academic credit under your program. The equivalency path allows for paid work experience in therapeutic recreation. So this is really kind of a great thing to know for those of you who, again, maybe you are working in the field, and you know some individuals who are very interested in becoming a recreational therapist or certified. So you might be able to kind of suggest that they consider the equivalency path toward gaining NCTRC certification down the road. So we mentioned earlier the job analysis study. So again, we talked about the fact that this is a survey. The survey helps NCTRC to determine what are the tasks of a CTRS, what are the daily important tasks and practices that we perform. And what do we need to know in order to perform the practices competently? So we have this survey that we ask our certificates to respond to and provide this information for us. Once we receive those survey results, that is processed and basically broken out into the two parts, those job tasks important for practice, the knowledge areas important to better perform all of those job duties, those daily things that we do as recreational therapists. One thing I do want to say, I kind of like to refer back to the NCTRC website from time to time. So if you visit the NCTRC website, again, under the publications and forms link, under the marketing materials, you will find the NCTRC job analysis study. It really is a nice thing to be able to take a look at to better understand how that survey is processed, what is done to kind of sort out those job domains and those knowledge areas. It goes into a little bit more depth than we'll go into today. So really a great idea, both for practitioners and for students. And you'll find out why in just a moment. So the last time the job analysis study was completed was back in 2000, well, earlier than 2014. The results were sorted in 2014 for our current job analysis. As you see, I mentioned that the job analysis is completed about every 5 to 7 years. So we're coming due for a job analysis. So if you are a CTRS certificate, you will be looking for that survey coming out probably within the next year or so. We ask that you certainly take a look at that and respond, because your response is valued and important in determining what it is that we do and what we need to know. So these are the job tasks. As you see, within the job tasks, you see the very important APIDE process embedded right in there, and all of those other important features of what it is that we do in our daily roles. Why is this important for both CTRSs and for students? Well, for CTRSs, we ask that your role incorporates some of these job tasks when you're letting us know that you have completed your hours for your recertification. Right? We will ask you if you're completing some of these job task areas. For a student who is in an internship, we're asking that you have exposure to each and every one of these job task areas. So if you are a supervisor and you're looking at these job tasks and you say, oh, I know that we do the majority of these tasks in our roles, just know that it is going to be your responsibility to provide that exposure to your students during the internship process. The students are going to be reporting back to us that they have had exposure to all of these roles. Perhaps, again, you might be in a community setting compared to a clinical environment. So this is certainly acceptable, and we know that that therapeutic recreation is kind of takes place in a broad variety of areas. So you might not be working with a clinical or multidisciplinary treatment team, but you are working with other service providers. So we kind of have this allowance embedded within those job task domains. But as an internship student, make sure that you know that you are going to need to let us know, yes, I have had exposure to each one of these job task areas. So in NCTRC, again, when we're looking at your applications, we're going to be checking to make sure that you're letting us know that either you're performing some of those tasks or that you've had those exposure. An applicant should demonstrate that they have, had those opportunities to basically be able to develop those skills needed for the competency in practice. So we talk also about the knowledge areas and how those are important. And you're going to find out in the forthcoming slides how these knowledge areas relate to both the CTRS certificate and for the new applicant who might be completing that NCTRC exam. So the knowledge areas, as you see, again, have been defined by the field as necessary to perform that competence. So again, we talk about those tasks and what knowledge it is that we need to know to perform those tasks that we perform every day. Again, I'm not going to go into depth in regard to what each and every one of these knowledge areas mean. I think they are pretty explanatory, but by looking at that job analysis document, you can go into those knowledge areas into a bit of breadth and depth. But for you CTRSs out there who are attending the sessions during this conference particularly, you're thinking about your continuing education, your CEUs. So your continuing education need to relate to these knowledge areas. If you have any questions at all related to education that you are attending, whether it be at a conference like the one we are here at now, or maybe education that is being provided by your agency or facility and services and so forth, you need to link them back up to these knowledge areas that you see. Again, we can assist you if you call the office, if you email us, we can assist you in kind of plugging those in. For our new applicants considering the NCTRC certification exam, here we go. Our NCTRC exam content is derived from those knowledge areas. Here you see the knowledge areas right here as reflected on that previous slide. And the amount of time or amount of percentage that the exam content is related to those knowledge areas. The highest percentage of exam questions is going to be on implementation of the NCTRC practice. So, and you kind of have a little bit of a better idea as to where to think about preparation for the NCTRC exam based on this exam content and the percentage of questions related to each and every one of those knowledge areas. We can speak about this. Again, if you have questions about this, you can certainly contact NCTRC. NCTRC website under the exam link. You can find, again, more detailed information related to the exam content. Just a little bit about the NCTRC exam. It is 150 multiple choice questions. Currently, there are 180 minutes to complete the exam. If you have been granted accommodations or special arrangements, additional time to take the exam, NCTRC will work with you with that process. When you complete the exam, when you're sitting in the exam center, you will be notified whether you pass the exam, whether you were successful right there at the exam site. You won't receive anything printed, but you will receive an email from NCTRC related to your exam results. It'll be in your email shortly after you pass the NCTRC exam. And how do you prepare for the exam? This is the hot question, right? How do I get myself prepared, best prepared to complete this exam successfully? Your education, where you are right now, if you're in your academic courses, this is the best time to consider that you are preparing yourself for the exam. Take good class notes when your instructors, your educators let you know that they are covering something that is a very important and vital aspect of your education and maybe something that will be on the exam. Make sure you highlight that information, check it off, and take good notes. This is going to really help you in your preparation. That exam content outline we just reviewed, showing where the largest percentages of those exam questions are, will really help you. Again, kind of digging in a little deeper into that job analysis, those knowledge areas, having a better understanding of those knowledge domains will also help you to prepare and really be able to focus. The exam reference list, the nctrc.org website, under the exam link, you will find the exam reference list. We have an exam management committee, we have item writers, we have psychometricians all developing the NCTRC exam. That exam reference list will be a good tool for you to identify the texts, the articles, the information that was used to create those exam items or questions. So again, a really important part of how to get prepared for the exam. We have the NCTRC practice exam on the website. There is a free practice exam you can access. These are retired exam questions. There is also an exam, practice exam for, I believe, about maybe $25 that you can access for a 48-hour window. You may be able to do this in your class and share it with other peers and students who are also preparing for the NCTRC exam. Again, all practice questions that will give you a good idea of the format for the exam. Okay, so what happens when you become certified? What are your responsibilities? We have an annual renewal process. Again, we spoke a little bit about our disciplinary questions that we ask on applications. We have on our annual maintenance or annual renewal application, the eligibility questions. This gives us an opportunity to ask each and every year, are you still currently in good standing? Is there anything we need to know about going on under those disciplinary matters? Have you had any issues or arrests, things that we need to know about that might be reflective that you might be not safe to practice, or maybe potentially harming a client or a customer, a patient, participant of your program. So this is kind of really an important aspect. You must maintain each and every year. You will receive annual reminders regarding when it is time to renew or update your certification. The most important thing is to keep NCTRC abreast of any changes of your email address, because that is how we will contact you. We have an online process right now. You would log on to your profile page to access the renewal application, as well as at the end of your 5 years, we have the recertification process. Those of you who, again, are earning your CEUs today, you know all about that recertification process. Every 5 years. You are either selected for the audit or not. So you do need to keep track of your education, gaining your 50 hours of education over your 5 years. So with the recertification, again, if you are, some people may think that, they are due for recertification prior to when they are due. If you can certainly give NCTRC a call. We can go over your dates with you. We'll be happy to do that. If you go to your profile page, again, it'll clearly refer to your annual dates, your recertification dates. Also, if you visit the NCTRC website, under that verification link, you will also be able to see your very first certification date when you gain certification. Also, you will see your annual date and your recertification date. So there are lots of ways to kind of just to tap in to know exactly when you're due to recertify. And just, really have a kind of a good, secure feeling that, we talk all about being competent and effective in our practice in order to be able to best provide that protection for the consumers of our services. So the recertification program does this, by continuing your education, being excited about your learning, and continuing to kind of broaden your knowledge and expand your knowledge. This is really the purpose for that recertification program. It is your responsibility to collect your educational hours for your 5-year period. So be sure to have a very organized manner to collect your continuing education documentation. With a lot of these online trainings, you're receiving your online documents. So maybe create a folder on your desktop just to store your continuing education material over the course of your 5 years. So we have a couple of different processes for recertification. Those of you that are attending this session who hold CTRS most likely are thinking about that option 1, your continuing education hours, the 50 hours of education. Again, we try not to think in the CEU unit. We try to think in the hour, aligning with the hours. So you need the 50 hours over the 5 years with your professional work experience. And again, most of you who are sitting in this session are considering option 1. You may take the NCTRC exam for recertification. It is an option. Many individuals who are maybe not working currently and want to maintain the CTRS certification might consider the reexamination. Many educators like to take the NCTRC exam for recertification. And many people just feel that instead of collecting those CEUs or the continuing education hours, re-examining or taking the re-examination over the 5 years is a great way to become recertified. So some just think it's a good idea, and it's the easiest way to recertify. We talk about the areas of specialization and what this means. The area of specialization designation is a way for individuals who work in a specific area of practice to align their continuing education with their area of practice. So again, if you are in behavioral health or work in psychiatry, for example, you might consider gaining all of your continuing education hours in this area. You will receive a specialized certificate. This might kind of help you gain some level of respect and acknowledgement with your employer. In some areas of the field, the gaining that area of specialization does help with a little bit of a bump or compensation for having that additional certificate. So it might be something to think about as you're moving through gaining your recertification hours. If you have any questions at all about the area of specialization, we can certainly speak with you further about it. Instead of the 50 hours of continuing education that we need now for recertification, this area of specialization designation would involve gaining 75 hours instead. So it's a little bit more of a rigorous process in regard to your education. And again, it does completely align with your area of practice. So it might just be something to consider and think about. Might be a totally intrinsic process for you to just say, I really want to invest myself in gaining education in my specific area of practice. So here we begin to come toward the end of the presentation this morning, and we want to really remind you that The certification is really something for you to consider yourself very prideful that you've gained the NCTRC CTRS certification. Just always remembering that the certification demonstrates commitment to professionalism. We always encourage involvement in the profession. We talked about the professional organizations that are out there. Again, professional organizations generally are the organizations that help to put on conferences, help to think about the legislation, and we talk about that the licensing process for states. The professional organizations usually have some sort of movement and process in considering states when it comes to licensure. So always a great idea to get a little bit more involved. I mentioned earlier the NCTRC Board of Directors. We also have standing committees. If you have any interest at all in getting involved in the NCTRC, either Board of Directors or our standing committees who assist with the certification review process, just let us know. Keep us posted. Send us an email saying, I heard Susan mention that the NCTRC standing committees may need some volunteers. Let us know, and we keep your names. If there are openings, we will reach out to you. So always a good idea. And again, just knowing that this is your profession, and thinking about advocacy for yourself and who you are on your team where you are employed. You want to advocate for yourself. You want to keep yourself as knowledgeable as you can in order to provide those best services for your clients, for your participants, for your patients. So be really motivated to continue that learning for yourself. And certainly let us know if we can be of any assistance, again, in the either verification process or the advocacy process, what we can help you with. If you have any questions, if you're kind of struggling to understand the certification standards, or to know whether or not you meet the criteria, or whether you're in alignment with the recertification, your hours of education that you're earning, let us know. We're happy to have a conversation with you. Again, we remind you that we are not in our physical office, but we are continuing our processes from our home locations, like many of you are as well. You can give the office a call. Our phone number is the same. We do have the technical capability to take all of your calls, certainly, and your emails. The certification process continues in our remote capability. So, and certainly be proud. You've worked awfully hard to become a CTRS. You're doing a great thing out there as recreational therapists. Here in New York State, we, certainly were so prideful when we heard Governor Cuomo in one of his addresses recently talking about how recreational therapists are part of the essential services provided in treatment areas and in healthcare. So, we are being mentioned, we are being considered, and considered valued. So be proud yourselves of that. So if you have any questions at this time, I think Hannah will assist with that. But I remind you, if you have a question that doesn't get addressed here in this session today, certainly to drop us an email. nctrc@nctrc.org is our email address. You can indicate attention Susan in the subject line if there's anything I said today or address that you might want to have me elaborate further, or you just want to say hello, that would be great. I'd love to hear from you. So thank you very much for attending the session this morning.
Yeah, thank you, Susan. That was great. If anybody has any questions, feel free to enter them in the chat. Relay them however you feel comfortable.
I sure miss seeing you guys in person. Hopefully next year.
Yeah, hopefully.
I even have my SUNY Cortland mug. Did I cover everything clearly this morning, Hannah? No questions?
Yeah, I guess so. It was very thorough. Very good.
It was thorough, and this presentation in particular does really cover the full gamut. So really from becoming certified to recertification, again, just kind of plugging in who we are, why we exist. So it is a lot of information. Again, I refer you to the NCTRC website where you can review the certification standards. The current standards document is a really great document for you to review if you are an applicant or if you are a certificant holding CTRS certification. It is one broad document. It does also cover the job analysis thoroughly. So you can review that information within the certification standards document. So we really encourage you to use the website. It is a good website to have a lot of information at your fingertips. So please let me know if you have any questions after today. Again, just give a shout out, say hello, or let me know if you have any specific questions at all.
Well, I guess thank you everyone for coming. Thank you, Susan. That was awesome. Yeah, do you want me to tell you how to stop sharing, or does anybody want to ask one last minute question? Yeah, everybody's just thanking you.
Thinking. Okay, good. It's early in the morning. Enjoy your coffee. And again, touch base. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining the session early this morning, and enjoy the rest of your conference.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone. Take care. Hannah?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted.
Hi, you're fine. About how many people did we have this morning?
32.
Oh, wow. Terrific. That's fantastic.
Which is very good for a very early session.
That's great for 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning. Hi, Daniel.
Yeah. How are you?
Good. I attended your session yesterday. It was terrific. You did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I remember, yeah, because you were the one who was given all the information about the committees and everything like that. So,
yes.
Yeah. So.
And again, if you have any interest at all in considering a committee role, certainly send NCTRC an email. You can write attention Susan in the subject line. I'm actually the liaison for both the Standard Review Committee and the Standards Hearing Committee. They both have different roles within the organization. I can give you a little bit more information about them.
Yeah, indeed, including what the committees are.
Sure, exactly. Absolutely. I'll be happy to explain further. Just shoot me an email.
Yeah, especially if they have like an advocacy committee or something like that. That's one of my interests too.
Great, terrific.
Yeah. Did you go to SUNY Cortland? You got the Cortland mug.
My daughter attended SUNY Cortland.
Oh, okay.
But she's a speech-language pathologist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have a great program for that also.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. No, thank you for attending the session as well, and my session as well. It's good that you're doing this.
Yeah, I'm hopeful to attend a couple of sessions today as well. We'll see what my work day looks like.
Yeah. And how did you get into working for the NCTRC also?
Well, I've been certified for a very long time, back since the early 80s, just shortly after NCTRC was established. I gained my certification. I worked in the field. I worked as a recreational therapist with developmentally disabled and in psychiatry for many years. After I had practiced for a number of years, I, and again, was certified. NCTRC just happened to have their office in Rockland County.
Yep,
And
I know.
I dropped into the office, and they happened to be hiring at that time. It was right around the time of the NCTRC exam in 1990. So I was hired at that time as a very part-time credentialing specialist, but then later, back in the later 90s, I was hired again as a credentialing specialist and have been there since. So I've been involved in this administrative certification aspect for quite a number of years at this point. So.
Yeah, no, that seems really interesting. I mean, and I basically grew up within an hour of New City, New York, also in Rockland
Yeah.
County.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, what do you call? I lived in Oakland, New Jersey, and then Warwick, New York.
Oh, wow. Right. Neighbors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And
very good.
Yeah, and now I'm on the Sussex County side, but I'm still only about an hour from New City, New York.
Great.
Like, yeah. So,
Well, send us an email, Daniel, and I'll explain further the role of the committees, and we'll see if you have any interest in
yeah,
that. Okay.
Sounds good, especially since your email is pretty easy to remember. NCTRC.org.
That's right.
So,
all right.
good.
Well, take care, everyone.
You
have
too.
a great day and a great conference.
Yep. Thank you so much.
You too.
Yeah,
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Yeah, great
Bye.
job. Great job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Daniel. Bye-bye now.